Hey guys, Agent of Doubt here, and Paul asked me to make a video for Friday for the bonus fill-in slot, and he did so in comment form. Normally, he would reach out to me and send me a PM on Twitter, but this time it was on a comment that I made on his video earlier in the week, and what I was noticing was there was a lot of trolls that seemed to have descended upon that particular video, and the trolls seemed to be of a certain political mindset. And I noticed that when I watched the video, it was like 20 down thumbs and only 6 up, which is a horrible ratio. Uh, eh, you know, as far as Breakfast Club videos go, we usually have a really good audience that appreciates what we're saying and appreciates, even if we disagree, the conversation that's happening. So it really looked, by the tone of the comments, that it looked like 4chan had sent some 14-year-old little chat freaks over in order to just disagree in order to be disagreeable. And, Phoenix Writer had left a comment about it. So that's going to be part of my inspiration for this video. Because I know I can bring the trolls better than that. Fucking 20 down thumbs. Come on. So I got something better. And I'm also kind of inspired by, I just watched a hour-long debate about whether or not sex offender registries should be abolished. This was on Reason TV. This happened, this week as well. So you can check that out if you want. It's a really long debate, and the lady who wants them abolished was declared the winner because she swayed the most people in that audience, as per their little voting method. But what I want to say, larger than just like sex offender registries, the internet itself has become a form of cruel and unusual punishment. And when I say this, I'm going to remind you all of this certain scam that exists here on the internet that preys upon those of us who might have criminal records. And this scam goes like this: somebody commits a felony or gets put on a sex offender registry, one of the two, right? And they are marked on a server that is not a public server. It's not a public registry of any sort. It's just a private entity. A company has decided, you know what, we're going to record every conviction of any sort and put mugshots up from every person, whoever gets mugshots that we can get a hold of through public means. And we're going to catalog these people. And then we're going to offer to charge them to remove their name from our registry. And these registries often just, they mine public databases of sex offenders and other felons for their information, for all the pictures that are on them, right? For all of the verbiage that happens. They basically just take snapshots of existing registries. They're kind of like the Wayback Machine for crime and public announcements of it. Now, before the internet, we did have public announcements of convictions. We had people whose convictions were by law published in newspapers. And in that way, people could research somebody's conviction, and see what was printed about it in the newspaper. Right? Background checks were a lot harder to do before this electronic age, you know. And now background checks can be done by somebody who is not a private investigator. This can be done very quickly for like $5 of a credit card charge, be it paying it to the state or by paying it to a service that compiles information from all sorts of different sources. And then you've got your information right there at your fingertips. It's as easy as Googling it. And even then, you know, news, just news sources themselves can, the local news can have archived articles about somebody's trial that will never go away until that news organization decides, yeah, I'm going to take this down. And one of my friends recently, in the past couple of years, has actually had to get a news organization to take down a story that was actually false and misleading about him, and really gave him a lot of strife on his time here on YouTube and in other parts of his life. And that was taken down, but still people, saved it and archived it. Anything that's uploaded to the internet never really goes away, especially with the Wayback Machine. But also, in people's hearts, I see that people never forget. Like the anonymous credo, we never forget, and we never forgive. And people get hunted and harassed for the rest of their lives because of something that they did. Now, when a judge convicts someone and he says, I convict you to this many years of, say, prison, this many years of being on paper for parole, or this many years on probation, and maybe this many years on a registry, right? At the end of that time on a registry, that person is supposed to be removed from the registry. And it doesn't matter if it's whatever the crime is, right? At the end of their time with probation, they're supposed to be considered not on probation anymore. They're supposed to be considered to have paid their debt to society, and they should have this cloud lifted from them. But with the internet, for a lot of people, that's not happening. Okay? And now let me ensure that the trolls will come for this video by bringing up my last example, and that is of one Nick Bravo. Somebody who I've tried to be a friend to in the face of just the biggest campaign of watch this lol cow bullying that I've ever seen, right? Yeah, he has done some bad things in the past. Stole someone's house. They were dead, but he stole a house, shoplifted salami nuggets, legendarily. He had a bad run-in with Happy Cabby as his roommate. A lot of different bad things have been said about his past, right? But of those things that were criminal, he was charged, convicted, went through his whole time of rehabilitation on paper, and made it to the end. But his hell will never end. Okay? He could disappear for 10 years at this point. And as soon as he pops up in any remote area on this fucking planet, the forums that track him as a lolcow will pick it up, and their fervor will be reignited. I don't think that there's ever going to be an end to the amount of gawking at a train wreck that is going to happen for him. There's never going to be an end, right? If you don't know about the saga of Nick Bravo, it's a long and storied thing, but I'm going to summarize it by saying there is a forum dedicated to tracking him and humiliating him, and it's called the Corky Forum. And you can find it very easily with Google. It's been taken down a few times through legal means, but it will just pop right back up, right? It'd be like taking down 8chan. It's just going to pop up as another, .so, .se, .org, just like Pirate Bay. The Corky Forum pops up in multiple places. It's never going away, never. And once these things are uploaded to the internet, they never go away. I'm sure like a couple of them are archiving back and forth the entire forum so that it never gets lost. That's how rabid people can be in following their favorite lolcows. There are some really dedicated trolls and dedicated just cyberbully campaigns. Okay, and I don't care which of these things you want to call it, right? I see the end result in any time that I try to interact with Nick Bravo, and I see like parallels in other cases of people having done wrong and the internet never forgetting, such as Brett Keane. Brett Keane will never be somebody accepted by society or doing anything great for the world because the world will not let him. No, he will be a laughingstock forever because that's the dedicated cyberbullying troll base that he has watching him as a lolcow. And for right now, I think that Nick has my sympathies the most. Yet, what I see him turning into is the most monstrous. Are you ready for me to set the bar a little bit higher here? Okay, here we go. This is the last thing that Nick Bravo has sent me in a personal PM. All right, I'm going to flash it to the screen real quick. So if anyone wants to pause it, you can check to see that I'm reading this word for word, but here goes. Genuinely feeling like what I need to do is write a letter to the YouTube legal department and include, do I need to go on a rampage at VidCon for you to do something about the cyberbullying and harassment happening to me? He goes on to say, why the fuck is it okay for people to use their platform to destroy the life of a middle-aged man, but not okay to speak the truth about some political situation? Now, I know he considers himself to be, somebody who has opinions that are valid on politics, that he'd like to be able to have a little YouTube channel and be able to have discussions with people. But it's never going to happen without the troll showing up. It never. And there's no way for him to even create an anonymous channel and try to just use pictures, and if his voice is coming across, people will find it. He's too unique. Same thing happened to Brett Keane when he tried it. Brett Keane actually tried to mask his voice as a woman once with software. He was still found out. that this is like, this is horrible. This is like, tell the FBI you have a credible fucking threat to a place where a lot of people show up. Fucking horrible, right? It's really depressing to see that the internet can be used to push someone that fucking far. You know? And there are some ironies that are just so painful to see. One of them is the trolls that chronicle all of Nick Bravo's misgivings over there on the Corky forum. They'll say to him, hey, why do you have all these get-rich-quick schemes like going to Hollywood and becoming a star? You know, and then you end up stealing someone's house to get some money to try to fake like you're a star. Why don't you just get a job? Right? How is Nick fucking Bravo ever going to get a job when the Google search that anyone would do on Nick Bravo would show them the Corky forum and everything that they're saying about him and all of the mirror YouTube sites where they've either clipped him out of context or they've taken his worst moments and just, you know, archived him. That's what he's talking about in here. There are YouTube channels called Nick Bravo or Nick Bravo something or other that he can't take them down quick enough with this person spoofing me notices or DMCAs. They pop right the fuck back up. Right? He's never going to be able to get rid of them. These people are so dedicated. So they can, you know, be like a doppelganger and upload all sorts of videos to humiliate him for the rest of his life, and he can't do anything about it. You know, if he changed his name, it's pretty sure that if they ever found out what his new name was, they'd just take all their videos and change the titles. And they'd ruin him again. He has nowhere to go for the rest of his life. And he really, really feels it. And when I see someone backed into a corner such that they're willing to threaten an act of martyrdom, such as attacking VidCon to make a scene big enough and then, you know, have people research it and find out how cyberbullied he was. We got a fucking problem. The internet is cruel and unusual punishment, and it can drive people to very, very horrible things. Those of you who want to come down thumb this, please help me beat Paul's score. You know what to do. Talk to you guys next time. And I'll be back in the following days to check on the comments. I'll reply. And subscribe to the Breakfast Club, damn it.